Hello, everyone, and welcome into Post-Show Headlines. I'm Andrew Salciunas with my man, John Kincade. We appreciate all of you for being a part of Post-Show Headlines. We've been seeing some growth, so continue to like, continue to subscribe, continue to watch, continue to comment. We had a lot of good comments yesterday as well about the Phillies and the trade deadline.
We like that.
Which is where we'll start. We have our fun side stuff that we'll get into. But first things first. I read it to you on the air, but we didn't have much time to talk about it because today was a very busy show. There was the report from Todd Zolecki, or the story last night from Todd Zolecki, that the bullpen arms that could be available at the trade deadline are starting to dwindle. The Red Sox have all of a sudden caught fire, so Chapman could be off the board. Felix Bautista with the Orioles, injured. Emmanuel Clase didn't want to just bet on red or black. He wanted to bet on his pitching performances. At least he's being investigated because of it. So
he's out till September 1st?
Yep, August 31st, but yeah. So a lot of the arms that we've been talking about are maybe not available. So Zolecki said if the arm is not available that they want, or they can't get the arm, like a Duran, because that's going to be a big bidding war, they may just go more bats.
Well, Duran's off the market too, so he's done.
They may just go more bats. So maybe 2 bats. Where are you when it comes to that? Like, because we say right away the bullpen is the biggest flaw in this team. Would you wake up Friday morning or 6 o'clock in the evening, 6:05 Thursday night, you're enjoying a cocktail because you're going, you have vacation the next day. Are you saying season over? Let's say it's Suarez and Adele, the left fielder from the Angels. So you get 2 right-handed bats. Suarez is your third baseman. Adele's your left fielder, maybe platooning with someone. I don't know. I'd
be saying hello from the other side.
Yeah, you might be.
I'd be loving that.
Are you like, damn, the season's over? Or are you still feeling a little bit better because now you're just relying on your bats?
No, because if I got those bats, I think that the season could go longer. I'm still not thinking this team can win a World Series. But I'm thinking better about their chances to go further. But, they need more. They need more. The Red Sox thing bothers me. I don't think they were ever going to go with Chapman because of the domestic abuse thing. I don't think that was going to be ever with his background in domestic abuse. I don't think that was something they were going to consider. But I get where you're going. I get what you're saying there is the double bats thing. I'd feel a lot better. That cocktail after Unfiltered on Thursday, and many times after Unfiltered, I do feel like I want to drink. So it is. I think that would make me feel good.
Just because if you think about
it, I feel a lot better. Look, it would be different.
Right.
It'd be something different than my eyes have seen, and it would be Dave Dombrowski going, okay, let me throw you a little red meat. Here's red meat into the lion's den. I'm giving you something more to talk about, something different storylines. It would refresh the audience. It would refresh us. I'm all
in. And you could get creative with the lineup that way. Like, if Suarez
could Rob?
Sure. They would make it work.
Sure
they would
Rob
get creative with it. The only problem is, if you get those 2 guys that I mentioned, Suarez and Adele, right? Now you got a log jam. Now center field, like, you're not playing Harper in center field.
No.
Maybe you could try to get Adele out in center field. It would be interesting because whenever Bohm comes back, like they played Schwarber in left field the other day for a reason. They could tell you all they want that Trey Turner, they wanted to get his legs off the ground.
And I don't want Schwarber in left field.
No, I'm not totally in favor of that either. So maybe it's more bats instead of bullpen arms, depending on who's actually available. All right, speaking of bats, we lost a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, Ryan Sandberg died yesterday. Obviously a guy who it didn't work out for him at the major league level as a manager, and he really didn't get much of a chance after that. But a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
And a guy, as we talk about the trade deadline, that the Phillies gave up on, you weren't around for it. But you got to understand, Ryan Sandberg, every Phillies fan knew Ryan Sandberg's name, and we got to see him for like a little cup of coffee, like 6 games.
Yeah.
Everybody was excited about the future of this guy. And they traded him and got older. It got him to the World Series in '83.
The Wheeze kids.
But what a waste of time. But the Cubs got the career of Ryan Sandberg out of it. But I say to you this, the belief is great players make lousy managers, make lousy coaches. And a lot of times history has shown you that. Do you buy into that adage that sometimes the greatest players just don't make great managers or great coaches?
I think it happens, but I also think that there's managers that weren't great players that weren't good managers. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I don't totally buy into the thing that I will buy into that theory is they were so good at it that it's hard for them to teach it. Like, let's face it, sports, yeah, they work their asses off to get to a professional level. But the best of the best also got God-given talent, right? Like, is Shohei Ohtani hitting 50 bombs a year just because he practiced hard, or did God bless him with
Sure.
incredible talent, right? It's kind of hard for somebody that is just so naturally good at something to just be like, do this. Well, that may work for you. It may not work for me. Whereas the lesser player may understand the game a lot more, which is why backup quarterback usually considered a good head coach.
Sure.
The backup journeyman catcher
Yes.
is usually a great manager. A.J. Hinch is a great manager in Major League Baseball. Did it with the Astros, now doing it with the Tigers, right? Like, there is a theory to the backup that sat and learned and watched because that's what they're doing. Like, they're not necessarily playing as much, so they're sitting and they're learning a lot more.
Well, what's interesting, too, is you talk to being around baseball teams a lot in my earlier radio career. You talk to young guys who would come up from the minors, or guys would come over to organizations, and they'd come into the organization and they'd be like, oh my gosh, I just met Greg Maddux.
Right.
I just met Chipper Jones. And they'd be like dumbfounded. I saw, Bryce Harper yesterday about relating to players where he's like, we don't mind taking a year off of our money. Well, 2/3 of the guys in the locker room probably do. Bryce can't relate.
Right.
In a baseball locker room, there's the haves and the have-nots. And I think that the non-star players sometimes can relate better to the whole roster because they had to relate to the stars. They had to learn to relate to the stars, but they also were one of the have-nots.
Right.
So they know how to they know the guy that takes the trolley up and down to the minors. They know that. And I think that they can deal with those players.
Yeah, and look, we're seeing a trend of it where younger managers, coaches are getting hired, maybe because they can relate in terms of life, the age that they're at.
Especially football.
Football's
gotten much younger.
But even baseball, I mean, like, Craig Counsell, he's not like a spring chicken, but he's a pretty young guy. Remember David Ross, catcher with the Cubs?
Sure. Catcher of the Braves. I knew him when he was with the Braves.
He managed the next year.
He
retired and he was the manager of the Cubs, like, because he knew the locker room.
Didn't really work.
It didn't really work. But
I think he'll manage
that Cubs
again.
team was going toward the end. Anyway.
By the way, I wouldn't be shocked if Ross potentially became the Braves manager next year when he goes.
All right. You have an unusual stoppages question,
yes,
which I can't wait to talk about.
You already have an answer. The WNBA stopped the game, not because of anything, but a player's wig fell off.
A stoppage in the game. They didn't end the game.
They stopped the game because a player's wig fell off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So if an NBA player had a toupee, so if Luka is going to go bald, Luka is going bald. He'll go bald. What if Luka decided to do the George Costanza and had a toupee? And his toupee came off. He gets into a little rough contact away from the ball, and his toupee fell off. Would they be stopping the game for it?
Maybe if he asked for it.
No, they asked the player. The player didn't ask for it. They stopped the game because a wig fell off. Would you think they'd do it for a man?
Well,
first off, I'm just asking the question.
First off, they would have to because there is an object on the ground.
On the court field.
So that's first and foremost. Like, they would, like, if somebody threw a bottle of water onto the court.
That's a good point.
They stopped the game right away. So, because imagine if somebody's on the fast break
and a wig.
Right, exactly. So the game would be stopped immediately.
Should wigs be banned? Toupees be banned?
That's great. It's a great question.
Because that could be a hazard.
That is a great question.
But I don't know. But give me some of your strangest stoppages of a game of all time.
When you asked me or told me that this was going to be one of the questions.
What came into your mind first?
First thing right away, Yankees, at the time Indians, now Guardians, in the playoffs. Remember the Flies?
Oh, the Flies.
They're called the Midges.
The Midges.
What they're called.
The Midges.
And I still remember Jabba Chamberlain was on the mound for the Yankees. I was watching the game because baseball, I loved it. I'm watching Jabba Chamberlain pitch, and he had to get off the mound CB Buckner was the home plate umpire. He had to spray himself with bug spray. Those things took over the damn
they
field.
took over the field.
And they played through it, but they had to stop it a few times to get the bug spray out. It was like a 15-minute delay in the game.
How about the rally squirrel?
The rally squirrel.
The rally squirrel. Was that St. Louis?
Yeah, it was St. Louis.
The rally squirrel, St. Louis. The Randy Johnson killing the
bird.
Seagull.
Yeah.
That was with a pitch that they actually had to stop a game. By the way, do you know he got a citation for that? He literally got a citation for killing an animal.
Did he really?
How about that one to you?
Crazy.
I don't know if it got dropped afterwards or not, but he got
I would hope it got dropped afterward.
But
there's been bees, bees nests near the cameras.
Yes.
Those have stopped games before. Bats. Bats.
Stopped the game?
Hockey and basketball.
Really? I don't remember the hockey.
Wasn't it a fly? Yeah, it was a Flyers game.
Didn't get stopped. Fogg stopped it.
No,
Rick McLeish killed a bat once.
Yeah, but wasn't it?
It didn't stop the game.
Okay, well the
bats were. It was a fog game.
Okay,
there was fog in the stadium. It was so hot in late May, and it caused fog. It was the old Buffalo Aud, the auditorium in Buffalo, and it was so hot.
Are you sure the bat didn't pause the game?
Nah,
because I know it paused the Spurs,
and they killed it with it. Rick McLeish literally killed it with his stick, and then flipped it off with his stick.
Manu Ginobili,
75 Stanley Cup
Manu Ginobili, bare hand.
Wow!
He was playing for the Spurs.
Wow.
A bat was flying around the arena, and he smacked it out of midair.
Wow! Rip Ozzy Osbourne.
Yes. How about that?
By the way, you saw in the documentary. I don't know if you watched the we watched the
not.
documentary today. He did not know it was a live bat.
Oh, really?
He did not know he bit a live bat.
Hey.
He thought it was a fake bat.
That's Ozzy, man.
And he bit a live bat, and he was like, "What the frick is this?" He thought it was a fake bat.
Ozzy.
So that one of the famous stories
and you know
of
what?
all time.
He kept going.
And he did. He kept going. Like, dude.
All right. You have a network question.
Yeah. Okay, we had Greg Caserta on from the MLB
awesome
Network.
Guy, yeah.
Just an absolutely awesome person. Another guy who's, can thank me for his career. He launched it on my network radio show. But I said, if you were Greg Caserta, someone said, hey, Salciunas, you're going to be Greg Caserta. You got to go work for a sports network that's associated with a sport. But so for the rest of your career, that's your job. You're working on radio or television, but you only get to pick one sport to talk about. And it is year-round. Mm-hmm. That's it. Nothing else. What's the sport and why?
I bet you think I'm going to say baseball.
I did not.
But I'm going to
I thought you were going to say hoops.
Football.
See, now that's funny is I've worked with you now for almost a year and a half. I thought for sure you were going to say NBA. I thought you were going to say basketball. Like you're going to talk basketball year-round.
There are dead times in basketball and baseball. There is no such thing as a dead period in football.
I think so. Football would be so easy for me to say.
Football. The Eagles won the Super Bowl, and 3 days later, there was breaking news in the NFL.
Yeah, we were talking about
non-Eagle related.
Yeah, we were talking about the combine.
Right. Football never ends. And you're saying national, so you're not talking just national. The Eagles.
No, it's national. You're going.
I have draft top picks.
Right.
I have drama. I have coaching fires.
Training
I have hot
camps,
seats. I have camps.
All this stuff.
I have battles. Baseball.
If I did take, because football was easily mine too. So let's do this then. If I took football off the table,
I would go basketball before baseball.
Okay, but that's what I did have that. I did have that you would take basketball. I thought basketball would be the one you would
just
take.
Because there's look, let's face it, drama sells when it comes to content. And there's a lot more drama in basketball than there is baseball. And it's the individual stardom where they have the ball in their hands pretty much at all time. It's easier to talk about Kevin Durant than it is to talk about Bryce Harper. Kevin Durant could make an impact with 25 shots in a game. Bryce Harper makes an impact with 4 at-bats. So basketball, during the season.
You know what's funny is that it's not a sport one, but if I had to choose something like that for me, it'd be one of those gambling networks.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
To be able to talk about all the sports for the gambling side, of it would be a fun one for me.
Yeah, you'd be good.
Bring on to do that. I'd love to do something like that.
All right, last one. My friends at Simple Charm Flooring in Deptford, New Jersey.
Fantastic people, I hear.
They are over my house right now.
That's awesome.
Putting the carpet in the basement. So the basement,
awesome.
the house that I moved into, the basement was already finished, but they didn't have carpeting, and we're doing it for Coop. Playroom.
So cozy.
Get down there.
Well, it's gonna be cozy.
Winter time. Yeah,
it's gonna be great.
Cozy.
You're gonna love it.
So it made me think of this question.
Okay.
What is something from your childhood where you said, when I'm older, I'm going to make this a part of my kid's life? Because my parents, when I was 12, got the basement finished. And I know that I was 12 because my sister's Sweet 16 was in the basement. Because financially, there you go. So the Sweet 16 for my sister was in our basement. So you
mean when I was a kid, I said my kid's going to have this.
So when I had the finished basement, dude, I slept down there. I drank underage down there. Like, it was like a fun place to be from the time I was 12 to the time I was 18. Then I went away to college. I wanted, and like my playroom growing up was the basement.
Okay.
Before it got finished. So, concrete flooring.
I had concrete floor in our basement.
My dad did the chalk outline of a strike zone. I played baseball. So when I got the finished basement when I was a teenager, I was like, damn, I want to do this for my kid one day. Okay. Was there anything from your childhood that you brought over to your adulthood when you became a father?
Yeah. I shared a room for the majority of my childhood.
Okay.
So I always said, my kid's never going to share a room.
All right.
Now, we only had one kid, so it worked out well.
A little bit easier that way.
So I always said that. 26 South Maryland, where I grew up, we never had a finished basement. Our basement, cellar as we called it, did not have it never got finished. I always wished that had been finished.
That it had.
But I remember putting on the rollerblades down in the basement.
Yeah.
And being able to do the circle in the basement and being able to do that. We had the air hockey table down there.
Cool.
Set up the goalie net down there, the Milet goalie net down there on one side of the basement. I was afraid of the basement when I was a kid.
Okay.
Because Doc had a toy roach that he used to scare me with. It was a toy roach. It was like a big roach. And it was like one of those ones you could scoot across the room.
And you'd keep it in the basement?
And he'd keep it well, no, my parents made him put it in the basement because he would scare me with it at every turn.
Okay.
So then one time a worker came to check the heater or something. And he was going to go downstairs. My mom goes, well, it's down in the basement. Let's open the door. And I went, don't go down there. There's a big bug. And they would always tell that story. So I was a little scared of it when I was a little kid. So it's it's like the basement being finished was something we've always had a space like that. I always wanted to have.
I knew I was going to spoil my eventual child, and sure enough, he's getting spoiled.
Oh, he'll be spoiled.
He's going to be
spoiled.
The
thing is, though, you're supposed to give your kid more than you had.
Yeah.
But you're also supposed to teach them to appreciate it.
Right. Absolutely.
And as long as they appreciate it, there's nothing wrong with spoiling a kid.
Damn right, Johnny.
As long as they appreciate it.
Damn right. All right, everybody have a great rest of your day. Post-show headlines again tomorrow. Adam Schefter Wednesday tomorrow on the air. DeCecco for 2 hours tomorrow.
It's going to be fun.
We have another busy show tomorrow, and we'll be another day closer to Thursday's MLB trade deadline. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Hey guys, Andrew Salciunas from Kincade and Salciunas. Thank you for checking out all of our stuff on YouTube. Make sure you click, like, subscribe on everything that you see. And of course, you can see everything from our YouTube feed. Full shows, interviews, when John's being an idiot, which is like 15 times a day. So make sure you check out all of our stuff on YouTube. We appreciate it.